Judith Wright was an Australian poet who was ahead of her time and was known for her social commentary on environmental issues in Australia. The poem being analysed today is Australia 1970. The first of the central issues being addressed is the pathetic, callous, and inconsiderate way that wildlife in Australia was and still is being treated. The second issue is surrounding land usage. In the poem, Judith Wright condemns and lambasts land usage, as well as the destructive actions and industrial environmental practices in Australia. She uses literary devices and poetic techniques, such as symbolism and structural elements, to shed light on the themes of dispossession and environmental waste caused by humanity. The mood that's portrayed in this poem is one of irritation, displeasure, and anger. Judith Wright explores these issues through many poetic and literary devices, starting off with repetition. An example of repetition is the word die. The use of repetition in the poem gets a point across about the harsh reality of the killing and displeasures suffered by Australian wildlife. There are quite a few similes used in the poem, such as die like a wild country, like the eagle hawk, dangerous till the last breath's gone. She expresses how animals need to start fighting back when the people within it take what's their habitat to their own kind. A mention to the fact that the eagle hawk will keep on going and keep on fighting until it's dead. She continues to use these analogies throughout the poem. For example, die like the tiger snake that hisses such pure hatred from its pain as fills the killer's dreams with fear like suicide's invading stain. She continues naming animals that coexist in this environment that are being affected. There is an abundance of rhyming in the poem which adds quite a nice sound to the poem as it incorporates a real swing to the tempo. An example of this rhyming is, "For we are conquerors and self-poisoners more than scorpion or snake, and dying of the venoms that we make, even while you die of us." Wright implies that we're trying to conquer the land and that we're effectively killing ourselves and the animals, which is worse and more dangerous than what we're afraid of, being the scorpion and the snake. Something that I find quite interesting is that Judith Wright has noticed that there will be a form of payback and reconciliation. This is shown in the last two lines saying that we are ruined by the thing we kill. There's a strong use of alliteration in the poem, but the one that stands out to me the most is cursing your captor through its raging eye. The use of alliteration in the poem captures the reader's attention through the use of strong words and phrases such as cursing your captor. The use of alliteration, such as the example above, provides an audible pulse that gives the poem a lulling, lyrical, and emotive effect. The emotive effect causes the reader to reflect on their actions that harm the environment. A technique that ought to go unnoticed is assonance. Wright's strong use of assonance is key to supporting her point, as it provides emphasis which in addition sounds better to the reader, something that is carried throughout the poem. For example, the IE in die and the ING in clawing and striking. Australia 1970 is a poem written by someone that was 40 years ahead of her time, who included subtle and clever techniques throughout the poem to call out the mistreatment of Australian land and wildlife. Wright adds fine details in order for us to create an image in our heads about how we're corrupting the environment for our sake, and that's not only harming wildlife, but it's harming us as well.